Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is episode 5 of the Sus-essful podcast. Been on a little bit of an absence, but we are back and we promise we will not go anywhere. A lot of people have been reaching out like, where's the next episode? Where's the next episode? So here it is.
Yeah, it's been like a couple months. A lot has happened, right?
Yeah.
Hockey's done, the NBA wrapped up,
Yeah.
No. Yes,
You see
sir.
it? I mean,
But
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like just speaking of NBA, it's the perfect place to start. We just had the NBA draft. We wanted to do a little bit of a draft review. We're not going to go through every pick because, that'll take way too long and a lot of people don't care. We had some winners and losers that we wanted to go over, and then some other maybe key players to good teams that we like. To start off, though, who do you have as like your first winner for NBA draft night? I hope it's not.
So I did by team, like just the teams who were kind of winners.
Mm-hmm.
I had no specific order, but the first team I wrote down was the Pacers. I really liked Mathurin and the backcourt he's going to bring with eventually like Halliburton. That's going to be a pretty sick future backcourt.
Yeah, that is.
Especially because he plays really good off the ball and he's like high energy, very athletic. And then you got Halliburton, who runs the open floor well, great playmaker, facilitator. And then they also got Ryan Nembhard and Kendall Brown. So they got another guard who can run the floor and pass. And then Kendall Brown's just a really good athlete. He needs to work on his shooting, but he can defend and yeah, he's a good player. And then do you want to go? Do you want to say a team and then okay.
Yeah, I feel like you know which one I'm going to say. I think this team by far had the best draft, which they should have with the most picks they had. It was OKC. It's good to see him actually get aggressive now too, because now with Shea's getting into his prime, basically not hitting his peak yet, but he's getting in that level where he can take the next step. They hit it out of the park with Giddey, even though you don't like him, but a lot of people have him ranked high, and like people had him snubbed for rookie of the year. But they get Chet, who fits better than Paulo, I feel like, in their system. I think Paulo's better, but I feel like Chet would be perfect in that situation, and he has like so many guards that could get him the ball with Shea and Giddey. But then they also land both Jalen Williamson, like what?
Love them.
And then I think they also got the Usman Dang.
Yeah.
I haven't watched him too much, I'm not gonna lie. So but to me, like that's like a perfect draft. And then so I don't know anything.
I can go next, but yeah, on the Thunder, I kind of have mixed feelings about them. Like I love every single pick that they have, like the players, but I just feel like they're kind of all over the place with the players that they're going with. Like I feel like they're just going best available in a sense, not going for a specific scheme. Like all those players are different.
But then again, though, like best available usually is like what is the
it's not a bad thing. It's just that's why I have mixed feelings about it. But the next team that I have is everyone probably has this too. The Pistons.
Yeah, I had them too.
So Jaden Ivey and then Jalen Duren. Obviously, they're just filling those holes in their starting lineups. A lot of people have Isaiah Stewart starting at the power forward, but I kind of like Bagley over Stewart to start for them. But either way, I think that starting five that they're going to have is going to be pretty exciting for their future. So
Ivy, Cunningham, Duran, Bagley, and Sadiq Bey. That's a nice starting lineup. Really young. It looks like Detroit's like actually like for a long time they've been like struggling to find their like have like a culture,
core set of guys.
Good core. Yeah. So now they're set. OKC's building in that right situation too, like we said, and like I feel like I don't know. I haven't peeped their cap space, but I feel like maybe they can go also bring in a star.
OKC, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, they could just trade freaking 10 picks if they wanted to.
Exactly.
Because in reality too, like they're not going to be able to keep every single pick because each pick's going to be a 2-year contract, and then some guys are going to shine brighter than the others, so they got to decide who they want to keep, extend, whatnot. So yeah. Who else did you
losers?
have?
Or any winners? I don't know if you have any more.
Yeah. So
I had some players that I like. I wouldn't say like
okay.
team wins.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I really like Washington getting Johnny Davis. I like Johnny Davis.
That's gonna be a fun backcourt too if they keep
Yeah,
Bradley Beal, or they. I mean, they
they
signed
did.
Bradley Beal, but
Yeah. Another one I liked was Ochai, but I don't know about Cleveland.
yeah, I hate that for him. I hate
That's what
that
I'm
for
saying.
him.
I kind of wish he went somewhere else. So like that's why like I think he's a good player, but like I just don't like that team for him. I don't know if you have any other ones off the top of your head that you
One
like.
other team I liked is the Spurs. They got Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, and then Blake Wesley. I feel like they hit on all three of those for what they
And they're about yeah.
for what they
And they're about
got.
to tank to try to get another number one pick.
Yeah. All right. Well, how do you feel about Keegan Murray? Sorry, this is off topic, but a lot of people were shitting on that pick
That was
that they should
my
have got Jaden Ivey.
yeah. So if we want to move on to the losers, that was my
Okay.
loser pick, even though I like
Wow.
Keegan Murray.
Okay.
I like Keegan Murray, but it just seems like it's such a Sacramento thing to do.
Yeah.
And like there's always that thing of like the player that gets drafted after Sacramento becomes like an all-star. That's like it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I don't know. Actually, but like Sacramento didn't have a bad draft. It's just a lot of people didn't like that pick.
I was so high on Keegan Murray. Like I think he does everything. I don't know. Yeah, I hope Sacramento doesn't mess him up, but I don't know. I just hate how people were hating on that pick. Like I watched a lot of Big Ten games because I'm a Michigan fan, and like he literally did everything for that Iowa team. And the times I watched Purdue, like Jaden Ivey, I don't know. I wasn't very high on him, but I love the situation he ended up with Cade and on the Pistons. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays
I remember
out.
Sacramento drafted someone else in the second round. Who was it? Someone else I like.
Who did they get? I think that was
Jaden Hardy.
No, he got sent to the Mavs. The Mavs traded for that pick, I think.
Anyway, another loser I think I had was the Knicks.
Obvious, yeah. Everyone probably
like
has that.
Everyone wanted them to get like some young piece, and they ended up with nothing. But they made room for cap space to try to get who we'll talk about later with Jalen Brunson. But I just feel like Knicks fans are kind of like they always look forward to like trying to land that young star to like change their franchise.
Yeah.
And once again, it's like the Knicks do the Knicks things.
I hated how they're booing like when they got Usman Jang. And they were like booing, like, come on, give the kid a chance. And then he ended up getting traded anyways. But
probably juiced.
So one loser I had was the Nuggets. They got Christian Brown with one of their first round picks, who I don't hate. Like, I just feel like he doesn't do anything outstanding. Obviously, he's gonna be ready to play right away. He defends well. He has great size for a wing. And then they also got Peyton Watson, who I liked coming out of high school, but obviously he was riding the bench on UCLA's stack team. He only averaged like 3 points a game, but that's a pretty big risk that they took, taking him, I think, in the first round or the end of the first round.
For a player averaging that much, that's
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't really have any more losers. We'll see. A lot of these picks, like, I don't know, there's probably so many. There's so many players that got signed to of like, like after free agency, like after they didn't get drafted.
Oh, the undrafted.
They were like big college stars or like, like those seniors. A lot of those guys that will probably make a team and they might make an impact on a role player. So we'll see. There's I don't know. I don't really want. If you want to talk about the Warriors picks, that's on you right now. All right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So our first pick was Patrick Baldwin Jr. He was like a top 5, top 10 guy coming out of high school, and then he committed to play for his dad at Milwaukee. And then he had an ankle injury that he was battling all year. His percentages were down, so obviously his draft stock went down. And then the Warriors took a risk by getting him in the first round, which I'm not mad at because he's not going to be the number one guy for us, and that's what he was at Milwaukee. So they were keying in on him. Obviously he has the skill set. He kind of reminds me of like a Jason Tatum because of how tall he is and like what he can do with the ball. So he definitely has potential. I don't question it. I trust our player development staff and all that. And then I really liked our second round pick in Ryan Rollins because I like what he does with the ball too. He's very crafty. From Toledo. They just found out that he has a fracture in his foot, so he won't be competing in the summer league at all, which is gonna set him back, and it's a bummer. But hopefully he
probably gonna fight. It was gonna be hard to find minutes anyway, but have him heal up.
But yeah, I really like their draft, so we can move on to the big day. Continuing in NBA, today was huge. NBA free agency. The first big one that came to mind was DeJounte Murray. Got traded to the Hawks for what, Gallinari and like 4 picks or something, 3 first rounds. And one, I think it was, or one swap.
Or like all of them swap, whatever the best. But it's weird because like in my head I'm like, damn, that backcourt, like that's gonna be a nice backcourt. But we'll see how they play out.
I really like DeJounte Murray, but I can't like him now because I don't
one sec. I think they're tanking try to get what's that dude's name? Victor Wembanyama. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He's
like 7 foot. Yeah, it's like 7'4" KD God or whatever they're saying.
Did you see the picture at the like exhibition games last summer of him next to Chet, and he made Chet look freaking small?
So I mean, that's, I don't know, if I feel like DeJounte Murray was like in a weird situation there, so now Atlanta gets a chance to compete for a title that gives them like an edge, like a superstar player. And like Atlanta, was it 2 years ago? Not this recent year, but the year before, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Trae Young's still young, and they got a lot of pieces. So we'll see if they like keep who they keep with their bigs and stuff. But Jalen Brunson, another big one to the Knicks.
Shout out Alfred.
I know. I was about to say. I had that written in my quote too. Like Alfred's about to be sick. But
do you think he was overpaid? Well deserved, underpaid?
I don't know. I feel like it's just like I've already like talked smack to Alfred because I don't really like him. I don't know what it is about him. I just don't like him, and I always say like hate on Alfred, like he's not that good, washed. But I feel like now even going to the Knicks, I feel like that's like the worst place to get paid for him because like if he doesn't perform well, they're gonna eat him alive. Like another like Kemba, or you know what I mean? Like just another. But Mavericks ass. Alfred's probably sick. I feel like the most talked about thing beside all these crazy contracts today too was like Kyrie and KD. It was 2 days ago or yesterday. Kyrie accepted his.
He opted in.
Yeah,
to his
player option, and then so everyone was like, okay, they'll run it back. Ben Simmons will be healthy.
All the Lakers fans were like bummed.
Yeah, everyone was sick. But then because there's so much talks of like Kyrie like saying save me to LeBron and stuff. Which
and then
I don't know.
Even before the KD stuff came out today, you saw Ben Simmons' story, how he like posted a selfie of him, and he was like, what did he say? He was,
I don't know,
feeling good,
mood, or feeling great, something like that,
like in the locker room.
And
then a couple hours after that, KD comes out and news breaks, shocks the world, and says he wants to be traded. And then what did it come out? His top 2 options were the Suns and the Heat. Coincidentally, the number 1 seeds of the regular season in the East and the West.
But it was like, I'm like, damn, like how's that even gonna work in my head? Like when I first saw that news, I'm like, okay, like maybe like they'll do like a sign and trade to get Ayton to the Nets, and then Cam Johnson will probably go, and the Bridges would have to go, and they're probably like multiple firsts, and then they're like, oh, we're not gonna trade to the Suns unless we get Book, so that's not happening because then they just re-signed Book today. And then there's reports out that like KD and Kyrie might want to stay together and get traded in a package.
Yeah.
So like that's crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, what teams can even do that? That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, what teams can even do that? And like all the Laker fans were sounding so crazy and everyone's making fun of him. But now in my head, I'm like, well, Russ has a big contract and they're gonna have to throw in AD with that. So it's probably gonna be like Russ, AD, THT, first round picks forever for Kyrie and KD. And I'm like, fuck, that'd be nuts.
And then so there's like very limited like of that Laker talk of like AD being in trade talks. And then did you see he posted him in the gym like putting up shots? I was dying.
That's hella funny. Wasn't there a thing that like he didn't hoop for like 2 months or something?
Yeah, he was out there on like private jets with the FaZe Clan and gaming and all.
And like I think he said something on like a stream or like on some YouTube video that like he hasn't hooped in like 2 months. And then like the next week, LeBron was like posting videos of him in the gym with like AD trying to get like his narrative better. But yeah, and then like a bunch of people got like super max extensions, like Beal. He opted out to be an unrestricted free agent and then ended up re-signing with the Wizards. At first, when he opted out, I was like, okay, like, so what fits, like what teams could he go to? Which is like, I don't know, like I like Beal a lot, and I'm like, there's so many teams that he'd be good on.
Miami
could take yeah.
I feel like Miami is like for
everyone. That's what I'm saying. It's like the perfect place to live and like taxes and all that. Joker became the NBA's highest paid player ever, like biggest contract.
Well deserved.
Yeah, and then D-Book got extended, Jaw got extended, Cat got extended. So yeah, those are just other news that came out. Other players that are less popular. Lou Dort got a big deal. My boy Dorcher Chamber. I like him a lot, and I think that's like a really good keep for OKC. He keeps developing his shot. He's like an elite defender. So that's like a good like long-term save for them. Anthony Simmons, Portland got paid. How do you feel about that? Do you think he's like overpaid or just right?
No. After the year he had, it was. I mean, he's good. Like Jordan Poole's gonna get probably the same exact offer. Yeah, and then now that obviously McCollum's gone, they're probably gonna look to have Simons as their 2 guard or 1, who knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, makes sense. And then along with the Trailblazers, literally right before we got on today, news broke that our boy Gary Payton II from the Warriors decided to leave us and go to the Trailblazers on a 3-year
28 million
28 mil,
which is like good for him because like of like his journey,
his story,
and like getting cut, his cut, and like so many G League teams and keep getting cut, and like they're getting cut by the Warriors again, and then like how, like who knows what would have happened if the Warriors would have kept what's his name that went to the Lakers? Avery Bradley. Like that was a big decision, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, Avery Bradley." I remember. I think we talked about it on one of our early pods.
Probably, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but we're all like, "Oh, we both want Gary Payton because like we've seen his potential and like his glimpse of like how good he can be." And then this year, like he like literally showed the whole world. And then in playoffs, it sucks that he got hurt.
Yeah, imagine if he didn't continue to play after his injury. Like he didn't play in the finals. Or
that's what I'm saying.
He wouldn't have got this big contract.
Warriors might have kept him.
Yeah, seriously.
But I mean, like, good for him, like with his story and everything. It sucks now, like he's gonna be guarding Curry, like how Curry said, like, don't have this guy guard me, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, like that's a really good pickup for Portland, and they got Jeremy Grant. I love him.
They still have Nurkic.
Yeah. If they get KD, I mean, he's like, I feel like that's like, you know, what Dame posted, and like, I don't think it's crazy. I think there's crazier places. Like, I don't know how KD, I don't know. Like in my head, like him going into the Suns is more of a challenge than him going to Portland, even though that's like his number one.
Like package wise, or
yeah.
Who would the Trailblazers trade?
Anthony and like picks, and they'll actually have good picks.
Is that enough? Anthony
Anthony
Simons
Nurkic,
compared to Aiton, and you could get
Cameron Johnson, and Mikal Bridges. But the thing is, like, they won't take.
yeah, they won't book, but
They won't
I
book.
don't know.
So that's where I confused everything. Also, I feel like it's only right to give love to my Mexican brother Juan Moscato Anderson. I actually like that he's like, if he would go to any other team, I'm actually cool that, like, I feel like LA is like always relevant, you know. So it's kind of cool, and it's like
Closer to
no place.
Mexico.
That is facts. He's got to have so much fans down there. Damn, I didn't even realize that. But yeah, like he's like an Oakland legend, like from Oakland. First like
What his
Mexican
number?
NBA, yeah, 95th Street.
Yeah.
Like first I think NBA champion to be like Mexican descent. And he's just like everyone loves him, and he's such like a good role player, like bench player. I feel like to have good chemistry and like locker room guy. So good for him. I feel like he'll get talked about a lot more too, because like Lakers actually need depth. And like, you know how like what was that white dude's name on the Lakers?
This year,
Like this year. Is it
the
Reeves?
rookie,
Austin Reeves?
yeah, Austin Reeves from
Austin
Oklahoma.
Reeves, and like they'll play guys like that, and I feel like Juan will get that playing time. So like he can has a chance to like play with Braun and like show out, and like they're gonna have a bunch of TV games, and I don't know. Good for him. But good for him and Gary Payton. Like Warriors are like gonna need to, I don't know what, like those
So I
are,
was expecting to let some guys go. I just didn't want to let go Gary Payton, because obviously we needed to free up like 3 to 4 roster spots for like Moody and Wiseman, and Kuminga's gonna obviously get in the rotation or stay in the rotation. We got the rookies who they plan on getting on the roster. So I was expecting it, but I don't know. We for sure got to re-sign Looney now, and then who knows? They're probably gonna see who they can get in free agency. But yeah, anything else for NBA free agency right now? It's gonna get even more crazier probably, but
that's all I got for me.
all right, yeah. So moving on to other news from today, that was pretty crazy in the college football world, or college, I guess college in general, college sports. So USC and UCLA reached an agreement to join the Big Ten conference starting in 2024. What are your thoughts on that?
Crazy, came out of the blue. So I had work today, and like all like I'm trying to help customers and like all this stuff, and I get breaks, and I can look at my phone, and I'm like, oh my god, like KD, oh my god, there's, you know, Jalen Brunson, like all these news, and then all of a sudden I was like up, like scrolling my feed, and then all of a sudden it was 15 seconds ago, USC and UCLA were planning to leave the Pac-12 and go to the Big Ten, and I'm like, what? Like, and like I get it with like their big market teams with being LA, but I'm like, oh, Oregon's not in it, or, you know, Washington. I'm seeing reports now that like I think Washington and Oregon are desperate to like follow. They have to follow now.
Yeah, so they were discussing that multiple schools from the Pac-12 are going to try to get there, like even Arizona. But
I saw Colorado maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I don't know.
But dude, like I know it's going to be 16 teams, because obviously if they just added UCLA and USC, it would be the Big 12, which they already have. So they're going to try to make it 16 teams. But yeah, I don't know. Like, dude, that travel is going to be wild, especially for not even for football, because like football is once a week, right? Basketball, you got what, around 40 games a year, a season. If you're playing conference games, like 2-3 times a week, like that travel is going to be wild. Goodbye schooling.
Yeah, good luck paying attention in fucking algebra, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Is it good? Is
it
good for these schools? Like, I guess I don't know. Like, well, the one thing was like the Pac-12 teams that would be elite, like Oregon, USC, they would always have that, like, I don't want to say asterisk lately, but like the last decade of like, oh, Pac-12 conference, like not as good, you know? Now, if we like dominate and we're in the Big 10 or Big 16, whatever they're going to call it, I feel like our chances. our
That's the
chances
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
our chances of getting a playoff bid and everything goes up, revenue, all that stuff. So that's why like a lot of the teams like wanted to join the SEC, like that we just seen like the most recent years. You know what I mean?
So that's the thing I like about this, like the super conferences, right? No one's gonna dominate anymore. No one's gonna dominate those conferences. Everyone's gonna have 2-3 losses, which makes it harder on the committee, which is gonna hopefully force them to expand the playoff. Because how are you gonna, if everyone has
Yeah,
2-3
that is true.
losses, how are you gonna decide who goes in?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully that I mean the SD bias is like fair, but like hopefully this stops it a little too now. I don't know. We just need the SEC to get more. I mean, it's already competitive, but you know what I mean? Like I want more teams to knock off. I want Bama to have like 3 losses every year, and like I don't want no one to like run the table in the SEC.
But like those matchups like for football, like USC and Penn State, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Like imagine basketball. You got like Michigan and like I don't know, say Oregon or Michigan UCLA.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be sick.
Is Wisconsin and
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin, USC with damn.
Yeah.
That'll be crazy. And UCLA, I don't know. We'll see if this helps UCLA.
I know.
Because they might be like the bottom of
football. They're gonna be
football.
Basketball,
yeah.
Basketball's
So
gonna
be good. Yeah, basketball would be sick. But I had one thing too, but it's kind of funny. Is Texas back?
They're on their way.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because things will start falling into place. That's a huge freaking recruitment.
Yeah.
We should. You want to jump into that? All these college what do you call it? Commits, quarterback commits.
Well, Archie going to Texas is crazy to me. I didn't think I like people like had Texas as like a rumor, you know what I mean? Like one of the options.
Yeah.
But like once I seen it, I was truly shocked.
Well, who did you think he was gonna go to?
I was thinking Ole Miss, Georgia.
Really? You had Georgia?
I had Ole Miss, Georgia, and then like toss up.
Okay. Yeah, I had Ole Miss.
Well, I was like, I don't
in Texas. So I wasn't like
Texas.
completely thrown off, but
because Texas has what's his name already?
Bowers.
Bro that transferred. Yeah, Bowers, Quentin Bowers.
He'll be out in like 2 years, and Manning is what? Still has what? Another year?
He's gonna have to sit, I think, 1 year by like where it goes. But still, yeah, I guess. But hopefully Quentin Ewers will. It's weird. I hate Texas, and I love when they like lose big games and team. Yeah, that's like my favorite. That's one of my favorite things in all sports. Even though like I don't like Texas or like other teams.
Hey, how they tried to like ban that.
Yeah, they can't ban it on our pod though. But but Texas being relevant is good for college football.
Yeah,
I think so. But also like we'll see.
I mean, Texas A&M is going crazy with their recruiting right now,
and that's another whole drama that we'll probably have to do.
I know, yeah,
with, like paying with now players with NIL.
So they never said what Manning's NIL deal was, right?
To the moon.
Because they were saying
we already got that generation wealth.
Because Nico to Tennessee was what, 8 mil or roughly 8 mil.
Rashada
to
Miami.
Yeah, Rashada to Miami.
Yeah, we need some investigators dropped in Miami. That's all I'm saying.
Apparently it was 9.5, but that's wild. Did you see all the like comparisons to the rookie quarterbacks' salaries and how they're not even close to that?
It's nuts, like, bro. Dude, it's nuts. Wild. But it's like, I don't know. It's actually like, I don't know. I feel like this year is when we'll see the real effects, and like probably the next 2 years, because like kids are gonna start showing up on campus with like how's bro gonna go to class when he just has 9.5 million?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like the amount of like things you can get into, like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
It's getting
they
crazy.
Gotta find a balance. I feel like I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, but I don't know. But then I'm like, bro, it's like about time they get paid. But like,
yeah.
I don't know. But then maybe we're just not used to it, and then once we get settled in, it'll get normal. Maybe we're just not like it's not our normal right now. Yeah. But yeah, that was about it for my college football. I don't know if you had anything else.
Oh yeah, I saw a funny tweet that was like Lincoln Riley waltzed his way away from the SEC, and now he has to face this. And it was like 4 pictures of like Michigan's packed out stadium. They had like Penn State's stadium and like all
Yeah,
these
Penn
packed
State.
houses and like
Damn, this is
in
about
the snow and
these games are about to be crazy.
dude.
But yeah, I think we can. I mean, we can move on next one. Do you want to or?
Cool, yeah. So we can jump on to the biggest card of the year so far, and probably going to be the biggest card on paper this entire year. UFC 276 in Las Vegas. It's International Fight Week, and it's 4th of July weekend, so it's about to be crazy. So yeah, we got a like stacked card literally from top to bottom, but we're just gonna go through like the main ones. And then if you guys want to see like our full picks, obviously we say this all the time, but just go to our socials and we'll more than likely post them.
Yeah, a lot of people have been like messaging us like on picks and stuff, and I feel like we've been doing good in baseball too. So yeah. But yeah, this like biggest card of the year. I think we'll just tell you a lot of the people we'll like. And then we'll probably post like maybe like a parlay thing on our page and things like that, some juicy ones. But yeah. Do you want to start bottom top or main card bottom down?
We'll go bottom like prelims
Prelims?
and up. Yeah. So
Are you
to
starting
end the
early prelims?
no, I was just gonna go the featured prelim with
Okay.
Sugar. So yeah,
Okay.
this
So
one's
like
gonna be on ABC. Pedro Munoz versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. You have any thoughts on this fight?
I don't want to. I think that got moved up. Yeah. I'm looking at the UFC's website.
So who's the
So the earliest I don't know if you want to talk about this one, but Uriah Hall and Andre Muniz, that was the
yeah?
earliest prelim. We could skip that. I don't know if anyone you want to talk about.
So I like Munoz in that one, but
Yeah.
obviously
He's
you never
favorited.
know. You
He's
never know
favorited by a
what
lot. Uriah
what you
Hall's
never
gonna come
know what
out.
your eye hall is gonna show up. Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly. Going to the other one, I had a couple people on here that I like. Jalen Turner.
I love that dude, but
Yeah,
he's fighting a dog too. But I think
yeah,
he gets it done. He
yeah.
could just
He's
stand on the
minus
outside and hit people.
135, which I'll probably bet. Also Ian Gary, I'll probably bet.
I don't like him.
You know, like,
No, he annoys me. But
uh, I don't know. Are you gonna bet Jim Miller or Cerrone?
I'll probably
Cowboy.
stay away from that one. But I would bet Jim Miller.
Yeah,
I feel like
Cerrone soul.
he's beaten better dudes. I mean, they're both old, but
Yeah,
yes,
no,
it's probably
Cerrone
gonna be
so.
Cerrone's last fight too. So that's never a good sign.
Yeah. Brad Tavares and Treesus
Oh,
Duplessis.
Duplessis.
Yeah,
That's a tough one
that's what
because
I'm
I like
saying. I'm
Brad,
probably gonna
but I
stay.
think
I think I'm gonna stay away from this,
Duplessis
but yeah, Duplessis is favorited. I'll probably stay away from that though. That's what it has is the prelims right now, and then the main card. Do you want to start?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Pedro Munoz. Oh, what?
Yep, you're good.
Is that right? Yeah. Versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. Um. So I think Sugar gets it done. I don't think he gets a finish. Because Pedro's a dog, and like everything too, you got to take into account like his low kicks are really good, so that could have an effect on
I
Sugar's
was
like kicks and
yeah, I was
stuff.
seeing stuff in like if he kicks Sugar, because like when Sugar will like come in and like hit him with like a quick 1-2 and then come out. That's like Sugar's thing and like bouncing. But after he comes in, he leaves his legs vulnerable when he tries to bounce out. So if Pedro can like work the legs, it's gonna be rough for Sean. And like a lot of people, I feel like aren't realizing it. The public's gonna be all over Sean O'Malley. Like he's always a like heavy favorite better. So it
Yeah.
kind of shifts the odds a little. But I'll probably still end up on betting on Sean just because I like him to root for.
Yeah. So another thing to take note, this is gonna have big implications because Sugar's 13 and then Munoz is 9.
Yeah.
So
Get in the
obviously,
top 10.
depending on how he gets it done, if Sugar wins this fight, he's probably looking at 1 or 2 fights away, or 2 fights for sure, away from a title shot. But if
That's a
Munoz
long way
wins,
away. Yeah.
he shuts down a freaking hype train, and that's gonna be
Yeah.
wild. But
Yeah.
I think we're both riding sugar on this one.
Yep.
Can't wait. And then which
Next
one do
one
you want
I
to
don't
go to
even.
next?
For me, it says Robbie Lawler and Brian Barberina.
Yeah. I don't have a side on this one.
I don't
They're
have a
both
side. I'm not
very
touching
sketch.
this. Like what
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler's gonna show up, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably stay away from that one. I'd rather bet on like
For sure.
Turner and stuff. This one, I had a bet, and then after the press conferences, I don't even know if I want to bet it.
Who's it?
Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira.
Oh, Pereira. So this is a great fight between two middleweights. Strickland is ranked. What is he ranked? I'm pretty sure
4.
he's ranked. He's ranked 4, and then Pereira's not ranked. I'm pretty sure this is only his 3rd fight in the UFC. He was a kickboxer, and a little bit of history with Izzy, the champ. He beat him twice. So there's a storyline there. If Pereira wins, obviously they're gonna hype that up, which should be interesting. And then today at the press conference, I know you didn't watch, but
I saw.
Yeah, Strickland and Izzy were getting into it a little bit.
That made me
I don't know.
not want to bet on Strickland because I feel like he's gonna like try to wrestle this fight and like take him down, and like if he just does that the whole fight, he'll win. But I don't know if Alex Pereira can stop that, and if he does. But like you were saying before, Sean Strickland is number 4, and this guy's not even ranked, and betting odds are both set even at -110 for both. So
Yeah,
it says a lot about Pereira, and just like I don't know. This card I was gonna bet Strickland, but just because like the wrestling edge, but I don't know. It's probably gonna be a game time decision.
yeah, I'll lean Pereira right now. Yeah, like you said, depending on how well Strickland can implement that wrestling, because he chooses to strike all the time. So, I mean, we don't even know how good his wrestling is. Really.
Yeah,
It's obviously going to be better than Pereira's because he's new to MMA. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he can dominate in that facet of the game. But moving on, who else?
you can go. This is your boy.
Oh, the co-main, we got Max Bless Holloway versus Alexander the Great Volkanovski, the 3rd time. On paper, Volk won twice, but I think Max won the 2nd time. I'm so hyped for this fight, and I'll be so heartbroken if Max loses, because this also has big implications. Like if Max loses,
legacy,
his legacy's tainted. Like he has nowhere to really. He's not going to get a 4th fight against Volk if he loses. Does he move up to lightweight, where now that's a freaking Shark Tank of a division? I don't know, dude.
It's so tough too, because like not even you being biased, because like JT's one of the biggest Max Holloway fans. Like I like Max, and like I betted on that last fight, and I remember I think I had a parlay, and I was like, this is like my last thing I needed, and I win, and the judges robbed us.
Both of us, yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I bet 8 fights that night, and I would have won 1,100.
I remember that.
The judges.
So like it bothers me too, because like in my head I'm like it's 1-1, but the paper stuff, and like if he loses 3-0, it looks so much worse than like what it should really be if he loses 2-1. And even that, but I don't know. I think Max is gonna pull through. He's the underdog, plus 160. Volkanovski is 190, but Volkanovski looks so good in his last fight. But then again, the Korean Zombie had no business being in the cage with them in my mind. So I think part of that's like tainted, but I don't know. I think Max is gonna prove why he won the 2nd and win. But and with these two guys are so high level that like literally anything can happen. That's what worries me.
Literally, yeah. We could watch them fight 10 times and no one would complain.
They'll probably, yeah.
Dude, so I want to talk about the press conference. Like he came out fired up today, and I haven't seen him like that in a while. Probably since the Ortega fight, which was like 2-3 years ago. And like since then, he's been pretty chill, like nonchalant. Like he's been gaming. He got married. Like he doesn't really care about fighting or anything, or like doesn't show it at least. Like obviously he cares, but
yeah.
Today at the press conference, he was so fired up, talking that talk. he said something like Volkanovski's been talking about a clean sweep, 3-0. He was like, I don't even think he has 3 highlights in the UFC. I was like, oh shit. But he was going off today, and I don't know. I think he's got a fire under him, and he's gonna come out and prove
hungry dogs run faster.
He's gonna prove it. So,
but I hope he doesn't just come out like he's not the type to do that.
What?
Come
like
out
get
chasing,
reckless?
Yeah.
Well, so that's
I mean,
another
he
thing.
does
He
get
said,
that's it. He does do get actually. He does. Sometimes he'll like just want to throw, in the like.
So that's what he's been saying. Like I've been watching a lot of interviews, but he's been saying all week, like we've had 50 minutes together, 10 rounds together, and we've shared in the octagon, and he was like, this will be lucky to get past 3. So I think he knows like he's chasing that finish, and he knows Volk's gonna be chasing that finish because he wants to make it decisive too. So we'll see. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Yeah, this card's gonna be nuts. And then middleweight title fight, Izzy and
the main event.
Kenner. What are you thinking?
I assume the odds are heavily favored towards Izzy.
What do you think
I'll probably
is?
bet. I'd say like 350 or something.
Yeah, 410. It's right there. But
yeah, I'd bet if I were to bet, I'd probably bet Izzy by finish, just because Cannonier gets hit a lot and he's very vulnerable, even against someone like Brunson in his last fight. Like people think, oh, like Cannonier shut his lights out on the floor or whatever, but he was getting tagged a little bit.
He was,
and then obviously Cannonier doesn't have that much experience going to championship rounds. So if it does get that far, I like Izzy inside the distance. Izzy was also talking about like how a lot of people have been on him about his boring fights lately and like all these chess matches. So I think he knows what he's up against. So he's gonna go out there and like try to get the finish. And it's a perfect matchup too. Cannonier's only 5'11", so that size difference is gonna be crazy. And then a lot of people are talking about like the strength of Cannonier because he used to fight at heavyweight, but Izzy fought a bunch of strong guys like Paulo Costa. He fought Yoel Romero. He's fought
but those guys didn't use their weights in the fight. I thought all those guys did bad.
I mean, he fought Jan at light heavyweight
and lost.
He did okay. I mean, he did all right.
Let's see. I don't know. I feel like it would just be so chaotic if Cannonier won. Which, like, I don't know. I'm not looking past it. I'm probably gonna bet Izzy on this, and probably finish makes sense because I feel like you said, a lot of people have been hating on his fights lately. So I feel like this is a perfect opponent that he can finish because he does get like he leaves himself open. And like Izzy's just such a high level striker compared to him. He could like be playing with his food in there, but. Yeah. Cannonier can end it anytime in the fight, and he has that size. So let's see. But I also if you did like a parlay of Max and him, both underdogs.
Max and who? Cannonier?
Yeah, I could pay good. It's just good value.
I'm not good value.
It's just good value. But yeah, I wouldn't bet against Izzy. But yeah. Any other things you want to talk about the fight?
No, that's it. A lot of implications.
Probably I'm glad we actually got like amazing card, like best card of the year. But
it's been a while, yeah.
All right, moving on.
Games.
Yeah, we always do some games on here. JT thought of a funny one that we could do. We usually do sports, but we've been talking sports like the whole episode. So
yeah.
Popular trend's been going around like she's a 10 but blah blah blah, or he's a 9 but he's 5'6", things like that. So we each wrote 3 and we haven't seen yet, so we're gonna take turns going. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll go first. All right.
I'm gonna close my eyes trying to envision.
Okay. All right. Which one should I do first? Pick a number between 1 and 3.
3.
Okay. She's a 7, but she has an accent. I know you're an accent girl, or like you like your foreign girls.
Yeah. She's
a 7, but she has an accent.
Okay. for sure an upgrade. I would like to use a little decimal point if that's okay, just because
Okay,
on the
okay.
accent.
All right.
I think a 7 with an accent, because you could have a EN accent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what EN is?
Ian, what is
Yeah.
that?
Colombian, Mexican,
Oh,
Puerto
okay,
Rican.
okay.
Any of those automatically upgrade. But then also I like England, I'm big, so like England or Australian
Mm-hmm.
accents, very attractive too.
British.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say 8.2, 8.3.
Okay. So
I don't believe in
a whole
I
point
think
in
I won in
change.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
And sevens are cute.
Sevens are cool, yeah.
Yeah, sevens are get the job done. If I had
All
a
right.
team full of never mind.
All right, my turn. All right, go.
Okay, I'll do. All right, pick a 1 to 3 then. I'll do the same
All
thing.
right, I'll go 1.
All right, she's an 8, but she always eats your last bite you're saving. Like that perfect last bite you're saving.
Oh, does she ask or she just takes
She
it?
just grabs like annoyingly, like it triggers you.
Oh, she's an 8.
Like it's the sandwiches. Sometimes you'll like bite around
Okay.
it and you leave that middle piece with the core meat and or like
Oh,
other food things.
I feel like I can't take a whole point off because of that. But if I'm starving and she's doing that,
But like constantly, your whole
yeah,
life.
I'd go. I'll go a 7 and some change, like a 7.2, 7.3, like you said.
7.2. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
like
not quite
0.7
one
off.
1 point down,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. I'll stick to the food one with you. So she's a 10,
Ooh.
but she hates sushi.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh god. You're like, it don't matter at that point.
She's probably still a 10. A 10 is hard to come by.
Bro, you can't go on sushi dates?
I can go to sushi date with you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't expecting that.
I would say honestly like a 9.7. Like I feel like that'd barely take off. That would get annoying too, but like as long as she doesn't get grossed out by it, like if we went to like a fancy place in LA or Vegas that had steak or sushi, you could get, if I want to order sushi, she wants to get steak. As long as it's that like I can still eat it and it doesn't bug her, then I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. All right, your
turn. This is for you too.
Okay.
And how tall are you?
6 foot.
Okay, 6 foot. So she's a 9, but she's 6'11".
6'11"?
She's a bad 6'11".
She a pro basketball?
No
athlete. You don't
athlete.
have to answer that.
Yeah,
okay, athlete.
Yeah.
6'11". She's a 9 though.
She's like a really, really pretty, but she's 6'11" and not an athlete. So it's like,
so you can't bank off.
You're like, oh yeah, exactly. Because
you're
like, oh, she has the 6'11" genes, but she doesn't have that athletic gene.
But the kids could also take my genes.
Facts.
And have her height.
Negative and negative.
She's a 9.
So like, bro, like every picture you take, she's towering over you. When you're on your wedding day, instead of you, when they do the tip over, she's tipping you over. And she's grabbing your leg.
Bro. I'd say she'd still be like an 8.
Yeah. Or if anything, like that's rare. Like guys like things that other guys don't have.
Yeah. But then and then like it gets old too, right? Like the pictures are only gonna affect you for so long.
Exactly. And like you can't reach the top shelf, she can.
There you go.
You do a co-ed. I mean, she's not athletic, but yeah.
She's not athletic, yeah, I can't.
Yeah. But yeah, 6'11". Then you get a bigger bed.
Oh, yes, sir. Bigger doorways.
Bigger toilets.
Bigger cars.
You
gotta sit first class now.
She might have the same shoe size as you.
Ooh, we gotta share shoes. All right.
All
right, last one. For me. All right. This one's a good one, I think, too. Okay. All right. She's a 3. but her dad has season tickets to Warrior games.
Can I just show something? I don't know if I should.
Wait, you wrote the same thing?
You probably can't see, but right here, I wrote she's a 7, but has Warrior season tickets.
Oh
and
my god!
And can name everyone on the Warriors we believe in.
Bro, we got telepathy low key.
Yeah.
So then we can both answer it. But you said 7. I said 3.
If she's a 3, brother, she's still a 3.
That shit don't go up.
I'll give her. All right, my camera. I'll give her a 4.
Okay. Yeah, 3 is pretty low. You can't really come back from that, you know. But you said a 7 for your question to me.
Yeah, 7. But she has Warrior season tickets, and she can name everyone on the Warriors we believe in. So she's like a not knowledgeable diehard.
So see, a 7 you can come back from. A 3 you can't. So I'd say if you're a 7, I'd give you
a 7. A 7's like normal people, everyday, good. You know, if that even better. I feel like normal people are probably like a 6.
I'd go 8.5. Solid 8.5.
Yeah, because like every guy wants that girl that like very knowledgeable in sports and stuff.
8.5, yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah. All right. So that was the end that JT thinks, but also I posted some fan questions. And we had some fans reach out to us over the break, like asking us to talk about certain topics. I haven't told JT these just because I wanted some of them to come off the top of his head. And then some we'll keep anonymous so the person doesn't get exposed and like, you know, doesn't feel weird. So it's just like a normal question. And then some like, you know, we could shout out if they want. But one of the fan questions that I thought you would be really good to answer since you fit the criteria. A fan asked, anonymous, advice to get through a hard times in a relationship.
Ooh. Okay, hard times. I'm assuming like they're broken up, or is it just like
or like you could say broken up or like really rocky, like maybe on a I don't know, you know what I mean,
like a break or something. Okay,
yeah, like break. Maybe they take out a small breakup or they're fighting a lot.
Okay. Some advice. I feel like it's really simple, but to just whether you're on a break or it's a breakup, to really embrace that time that you have to yourself and like embrace the break as it is. Because you're so caught up in the relationship and the person you're with that it's chill and it's cool to see what you want and what you like and just enjoy that alone time or enjoy time with your friends or whatever, family.
So
just
if you
time
do,
away
so if
from
you're saying
that.
if you do go on a break, use it as like a resetting, relax, get back in your mojo.
Facts, yeah.
Is there a way to like mold the glue better or get through like, you know?
What do you mean, like? What do you mean by that?
Let's say like there's a big thing in your relationship that like
that's
you guys need to come together and get over.
Ooh, I feel like that's very broad. Like depending on that thing.
So like I feel like what you said answers it as like, if you're on a break, how would you feel more healthy and get past it? But like, how do you get past the break and get back into a good standing?
Oh, with that person, that same person.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. You got anything? That's tough. Let me think.
I feel like I'm bad to ask because like you know me, like I go in a lot of like, I don't know, like I'll end things quick with a girl or like.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't like with it's like simple. I don't know. I'm not ready in the like. We're in two totally different parts of our like love life. Like you have like a fiance and a kid, and you're like in that part where you know your future's set, and I'm at the point where I'm still trying to graduate this upcoming year, and then get maybe like travel and get a job and you know all that, and then settle down. So I feel like right now, like I don't know, it's hard, and like I always look for reasons to end it, which is kind of weird, but
yeah,
I feel like advice to get through hard times. I feel like honestly communicating. If you have like if there's one big thing that's holding you guys back, talk about it.
Yeah.
another thing is like a lot of times people meet people and they like each other, but then these problems nag on for a long time, and sometimes it's like, yeah, those problems are real, and like we're not compatible. Like that's okay. Like
Yeah.
not most people get in relationships and they break up. Like that's normal.
Yeah.
It gives you like growth opportunities, chances to learn. So like your next relationship, you know, if there is a next one, or if you want to get back with that person, you learn from, and you know.
Yeah, I can stand behind that. I'm with that. Yeah, it was hard for me to give advice because me and my fiance, we never really took a break. We never like believed in that kind of thing because like
Yeah.
we both felt like either you're in it or you're out. So like if you're gonna take a break, you might as well just be done. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
and I feel like a lot of people are like, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying this to the person that asked, but I just answering as a whole.
yeah.
A lot of people will be scared to end things and move on. And like you can move on and end things in a cool way. We know people who've done it. We have friends that done it. Like I know one time, I'm not gonna out this girl, but I know like her dude was cheating on her, and then she was like gonna break up with him and like whatever, and then she wanted to give it another go, and now she's pregnant. Like, bro, now it got worse.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes the longer you get with someone, that there's already red flags early, and you push it on to marriage or like proposals,
Then you're like
children,
trapped. Yeah.
then you're like, it makes it worse. So I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people are like need to like not be afraid to just end it.
Yeah.
And then
be
who
decisive
knows?
on what
and then,
you want.
And then
Yeah.
you know, you take 6 months off, and if it's really meant to be, you guys might come back together.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Be decisive on what you want or what you don't want. Like don't
exactly. Life's too short.
people on or don't.
This one actually had a person, shout out Jake Toomey, both of our boys. He said after this finals run, what is Steph's all-time status?
We're gonna catch hate regardless because we're both Warriors fans.
But I don't know. I feel like now it's like you cannot deny him.
Deny him what?
Almost best point guard ever.
Okay, so where does that put
Magic?
him?
Over Magic. When it comes to best point guards ever, he's one. He's him.
Okay, I agree. So numerical order of all-time players, all positions.
I think all positions, he's top 10 for sure.
Okay.
I think he deserves to be in 5 to 8 range is fair. I think rightfully deserved. It's getting to that point. Maybe more on the 8 side to some people, and some people might have him higher on the 5 side. But when it comes to like shooting guard, I got Michael Jordan, Kobe, D Wade. Now, when it comes to point guard, Steph, Magic. And like some people might have that, but it's like now you can't even like, people used to be like, nah, Magic. Like, nah, bro. Magic was not doing what Steph's doing.
Yeah.
Period.
Thanks.
And then like with small forwards, you know, Braun, but I think when it comes to all-time legacy, he's with this run, and he's not done yet, which is the craziest part. He's cemented for like point guard. Like now it's like top 2, no debate. Like people used to like the hate Steph got was crazy, and like with the no finals MVP, it's done.
That was the only thing they were hanging on to.
Yeah. Like,
literally
what are they gonna say? Like, if Steph somehow, I mean, I'm not even gonna say it too. Like, if Steph somehow wins another ring, could you imagine? Then he's like, bro, is he like better than? Is he like better than Kobe? like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he'll have more rings than Braun if he won another, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But right now he's tied with Braun, which is nuts on its own.
I'm with you. I like 5 to 8. I like 5 to 8 for sure.
I think 5 to 8, like non-biased. Like if you like saying he's like 3 or like there, then you're reaching.
Right after the finals, I was like, he's top 5. He's top 5.
But honestly, I think he is. Like he has a case. Like if I'm giving my list off the top, not ranking, but like obviously Jordan, I have 1. like let's just say Jordan, Kobe, Braun, Shaq. Those are my like most dominant players, and then Steph, and then like I don't know like what other players like dominate. When you go older players like the Hakeems and like all all those old school players, I don't even consider them because bros are playing with mailmans.
Yeah.
But
a big case for Steph too is the unanimous MVP. So that
back to back and unanimous.
Yeah.
And then best record for like I mean they didn't win it that year, but But yeah, shout out Jake. I feel like that's a good question. Another question we had from a fan was, I thought this was a really good one too, was what's our thought process when betting on picking a player or team?
Ooh. So it varies from sport to sport. Obviously, like the first thing, right, is going to be matchup. The matchup, who are they playing? And then like there's other smaller factors like where they're playing, or depending on the sport, what's the weather, or like baseball, who's pitching. It just varies from sport to sport, but I would say the main thing is probably matchup. And then another main thing is like how, I guess, hot they've been, or like the trend they're on. I feel like
What's their form? I agree. I was gonna say the same thing. For me, it varies with each sport. Form is, there's so many things that go in my head, but I feel like when I'm looking on paper, I'll do research too, but especially with NFL, I like literally I'll sit there and think, and I put all the matchups in my head and how the teams match up, how can they stop the run, can this team's D line put pressure, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It takes time for, like, if someone's new into betting, you got to watch the sports, and you got to, now baseball form, what team's hot, how they're hitting, who's pitching that day.
Yeah, even then, bro, baseball's
hard, but
it's been a rough patch for me.
But yeah, I've been doing good this year. A lot of my friends too. Alex has been doing really good this year. NFL's like my best betting. That's when I feel the most.
That's your bread and butter?
That's my bread and butter, because I feel like sometimes a lot of like the lines are like, I see the lines totally different. Another thing that we haven't talked about too is value, and this could go with other sports too.
Yeah,
sometimes you get really good value, and it's like all right, let's just say, like, who's example on like a UFC card? I don't know. There's a lot.
So this is a hard card to judge.
Yeah, but like usually you can get really good value players that, like, all right, let's just say like you might not like even know who's gonna win, but you're getting such good value with this person and their background, and like, I don't know how to explain it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, I see. Yeah. So based off the odds, you can dictate the value, like you said. Like one underdog might be, say he's on a 3-fight win streak, but say no one knows about him, so that's why he's an underdog.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a lot of value out of that. Rather, say someone who's an underdog, but they're on a losing streak. So then why would you bet on that? Like, there's no value in that. Or maybe they're due for a win. Maybe there is value in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it just depends.
And like sometimes I'll do that too with a lot of teams, like example, Yankees have been struggling without Aaron Judge.
Oh yeah. Dude,
a lot of the betting, but like today I lost, but they were like minus, I think 110 or around there. It was like really close. And I'm like, they have the best record in baseball. You're getting really good value for like that team. Like, I know Judge is out and stuff, and they've been on a slump, but like, it's the best team in baseball, and you're getting them at even money.
Yeah.
Things like that, value. I know I'm giving a Alex example, but and even when it comes to any other sport, like basketball, and like, are they playing a back-to-back
injuries, or who's sitting out?
Huge. Exactly.
That's another thing that's hard with NBA too. Like, they don't put out their injury reports till a couple hours before the game. And usually you want to bet either the night before or the morning of, because the odds will either change the closer they get to game time.
Exactly.
So
And sometimes if you know like something, sometimes the odds makers will be too premature, and you could get really good value before the odds change, like right before event.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like I don't know, like I know in the NFL season, sometimes companies will drop their lines for next week's games right away, like right after like Tuesday. And sometimes if you're already like, oh, that's not even close to what the odds are. Like for example, like Niners versus like, let's say Niners versus Jaguars, and they have it at like -6 points. Niners. I'm hopping
Mhm.
on that right away. Once it gets closer to the week, it might be like -10, and like you're getting good value there. NFL is really big too. I feel like back then, the last couple of years, home field advantage on its alone is worth points. It used to be a lot more, and I think now it's changing a lot in football. I feel like home field advantage, it's still important, but teams win on the road all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, things like that, but like home court does matter. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else for like a new better to learn.
Yeah, I would say, like we said, like the trends, and then matchup. Those are just the two like biggest things because it's very broad. Like it really, like we said, it really depends on the sport. But um, if you have any more questions, shoot us questions in the DMs.
Yeah, but yeah, and I don't know
Any other
about
questions?
parlays. Just what bets you like, and you can combine them for better odds.
Yeah,
Um,
should be really confident about your parlays
yeah, parlays
because
and like
you could also get more value just by placing a
straight betting.
single,
Yeah,
straight single
more
bets.
most people that bet serious bet straight bets, and they win more money long term.
Yeah.
A lot of times like parlay, like younger people that get into betting, but like I'm guilty of it too though. But like sometimes I will hit like last week I bet and I hit on like a 16 MLB bet for like I don't know, it was like plus whatever 6,000 odds, or I don't know, it was something crazy, and I hit and won a bunch of money. But then a lot of times you're just dumping money away with those like parlays. Like you do a couple dollars, $10, $20.
Especially if you go like 8-1 or something crazy. And it's like
Exactly.
if you
And
would have
like
straight bet those, then you would be up money anyways.
exactly.
So
So
it's
it's like
like,
the smarter thing to do long term. But sometimes if you want that little like it's almost like paying the lottery, but with sports.
yeah.
You could do parlays, but yeah. But yeah. I thought that was a good questions. If you guys have any more questions, comment under, or if you want to be private, you can message us on Instagram and we can keep your shit MIA or like anonymous, or if you want us to try you out, like to me, other people. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for the support. Thanks for the questions. It's been a long break, but hopefully we're back. Episode 5 is wrapped up. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. They're all going to be at the Sus Pod, except for our YouTube channel, which you should be watching this on, which is our full name, and it's at the Sus-essful Podcast. Yeah.
Share and like, send it out all your people. Yeah, and we might even get guests on in the future.
Yeah.
Might be able to pull in some athletes that we know or have connections with, or some people betting. We'll
Or
see.
former athletes or just friends,
Former athletes.
acquaintances.
I might be able to get an NFL quarterback on. I'm not gonna say who, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll try to get another video out this week. Sorry again for the delay. We're trying to get better, but we just really busy with our lives. But we're gonna lock in and be good for you guys. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is episode 5 wrapping up.
Yes, sir.